सो फर्स्ट लॉ हमने पढ़ा द लॉ ऑफ प्योर पोटेंशियलिटी, सेकंड लॉ है द लॉ ऑफ गिविंग। ऑडियो बुक द यूनिवर्स operate through dynamic exchange, giving and receiving, and are different aspects of the flow of energy in the universe. And in our willingness to give that which we seek, we keep the abundance of the universe circulated in our life. This frail vessel, though emptiest again and again, and filleth it ever with fresh life. This little flute of a reed, though the has carried over hills and dales, and has breathed through it melody eternally new. Day in night, gift come to me only to those very small hand of mine. Ages pass and still, those purest and still, there is room to fill. The second spiritual law of success is the law of giving. The law could also be called the law of giving and receiving because the universe operates through dynamic exchange. Nothing is static. Your body is a dynamic and constant exchange with the body of the universe. Your mind is dynamically interacting with the mind of the cosmos. Your energy is an expression of cosmic energy. The flow of life is nothing other than harmonious interaction of all the element and forces that structure the field of existence. This harmonious interaction of elements and forces in your life operate as the law of giving because your body and your mind and the universe are in the constant and dynamic exchange. Stopping the circulation of energy is like stopping the flow of blood. Whenever blood stops flowing, it's begin a cone to coagulate to stagnate. This is why you must give and receive in order to keep wealthy and affluent or anything you want in your life circulating in your life. The word affluence comes from the root word affluor, which means to flow to. The word affluence means to flow in abundance. Money is really a symbol of life energy we exchange and the life energy we use as a result of the service we provide to the universe. Another word to money is currency, which also reflects the flowing nature of energy. The word currency comes from the Latin word currere, which means to run or to flow. Therefore, if we stop the circulation of money, if our only intention is to hold on to our money and hold it, since it is very energy, it is a life energy, we will stop its circulation back into our life as well. In order to keep that energy coming to us, we have to keep the energy circulating. Like a river, money must keep flowing, otherwise it begin to stagnate, to flow or to suffocate and strengthen its very own life force. Circulation keep it alive and vital. Therefore, if we stop the circulation of money, if our only intention is to hold on to our money and soar, every relationship is one of give and take. Giving engenders receiving, and receiving engenders giving. Which goes up must come down. What does out must come back. In reality, receiving is the same thing as giving because giving and receiving are different aspects of the flow of the energy of the universe. And if you stop the flow of either, you interfere with nature's intelligence. In every seed is the promise of thousands of forests, but the seed must not be ordered. It must give it intelligence to the fertile ground, though it is giving its unseen energy flow into material manifestation. The more you give, the more you will receive because you will keep the abundance of the universe circulating in your life. In fact, anything that is of value in life only multiplies when it is given. That which does not multiply through giving is neither worth giving nor worth receiving. If through the act of giving you feel you have lost something and the gift is not truly given and will not chase increase. If you give gradually, there is no energy behind that given. It is the intention behind your giving and receiving that is the most important thing. The intention should always be to create happiness for the giver and receiver because happiness is the sport and life sustaining and therefore generate increase. The return is directly proportional to the given, which is unconditional and from the heart. That is why the act of giving has to be joyful. The frame of mind has to be one in which you will feel joy in very act of giving. Then the energy behind the giving energy many increases many times. Or practice the law of giving is action very simple. If you want joy, give joy to others. If you want love, learn to give love. If you want attention and appreciation, learn to give attention and appreciation. If you want material affluence, help others become materially affluent. In fact, the easy way to get what you want is to help others get what they want. This principle work equally well for individual, corporation, society and nations. If you want to be blessed with all the good things in life, learn to be silently bless everyone with all the good thing in the life. Even though of giving the thousand of blessing or a simple prayer has the power to affect others. This is because our body, reduced to its essential state, is a social localized bundle of energy and information in the universe of energy and information. We are localized bundles of the consciousness in a conscious universe. The word consciousness implies more than just energy and information. It implies energy and information which is alive as though. Therefore, we are bundles of thoughts in a thinking universe, and though has thought has the power to transformation. Life is the eternal dance of consciousness that expresses itself as the dynamic exchange of impulse of intelligence between microcosm and microsome, between the human body and the universe body, between the human mind and the cosmic mind. When you learn to give that which you seek, you activate the pyrograph, the dance with the exude sight, energetic and vital movement of that constitute the external trope of life. The best way to put the law of giving into operation to start the whole process of circulation is to make a decision that anytime you come into contact with anyone, you will give them something. It does not have to be in the form of material thing. It could be a flower, compliment, prayer. In fact, the most powerful form of giving are non-material. The gift of caring, attention, affection, appreciation and love are some of the most precious gifts you can give, and they don't cost you anything. When you meet someone, you can silently send them a blessing, wishing them happiness, joy and laughter. This kind of silent giving is very powerful. One of the things I was taught as a child, and which I taught my children also. I never go to anyone's house without bringing something. Never visit anyone without bringing them a gift. You may say, how can I give to others when at the moment I don't have enough myself? You can bring a flower. One flower, you can bring a note or a card which says something about your feeling for the person you are visiting. You can bring a compliment. You can bring a prayer. Make a decision to give wherever you go, to whomever you see. As long as you are giving, you will be receiving. The more you give, the more confidence you will gain in the miraculous effect of this law, and as you will receive more, your ability to give more will also increase. The true nature is one of affluence and abundance. We are naturally affluent because nature supports every need and desire. With that nothing, because our essential nature is one of the pure potentiality and infinite possibility. Therefore, you must know that you are already inherently affluent, no matter how much or how little money you have, because the source of all wealth is the field of pure potentiality. It is the self-consciousness that knows how to fulfill every need, include joy, love, laughter, peace, harmony, and knowledge. If you seek these things first, not only for yourself but for others, all else will come to you spontaneously. Apply the law of giving. I will put the law of giving into the effect of making a commitment to take the following step. Whenever I go and whoever I encounter, I will bring them a gift. A gift may be a compliment, flower, a prayer. Today I will give something to everyone I come into contact with, and so I will begin the process of circulating joy, wealth, and affluence in my life and in the lives of others. Second point, today I will gratefully receive all the gift that life has to offer me. I will receive the gift of nature, sunlight, and sound of birds singing, or spring shower, or the first snow of winter. I will also be open to receiving from others, whether it be in the form of the material gift, money, a compliment, or a prayer. Third point, I will make a commitment to keep wealth circulating in my life by giving and receiving life's most precious gift, the gift of caring, attention, appreciation, and love. Each time I meet someone, I will silently wish them happiness, joy, and laughter. So, friends, this is our second law, the law of giving, where we learn if you want something, you have to give that or try to give that to others. ऐसे ये मच्छर निभा रहे हैं, मोटी चला दो यार, को नाक में लगती है, मेरे सांस लेने में दिक्कत होती है मुझे मोटी। लो ऑफ गिविंग, इससे मैंने एक बात तो सीखी है कि whenever आप मीट समवन, उसको एक कॉम्प्लीमेंट तो दे ही सकते हैं, सही है ना। नोट्स में लिखूंगा मैं गिव्स अदर्स व्हाट यू वांट, उसके बाद मैं लिखूंगा किसी के बारे में, उसको भेज। सबसे पहले मैं एक लड़की के बारे में लिखूंगा जो मेरे साथ है, क्लास में मेरी उससे लड़ाई हो गई थी शुरुआत के बाद उसने मुझे किक कर दिया था जो ग्रुप में से। उसके बाद ही उससे बात ही जो उसकी थी, पर बहन की लोड़ी गंतियाँ मानते हैं लड़कियाँ, उसको नहीं कह रहा। स्वीट है, अच्छी है, उसकी आँखें भी अच्छी एंड आँखें अच्छी उसकी, और उसके बाद में भी अच्छे है और फिगर भी अच्छा, कुछ अच्छा ही है वैसे। और पर मुझे पसंद है यार, वैसे एक्चुअल वे में तो ज़्यादा नहीं कहूँगा, एक्चुअल वे में मुझे ज़्यादा अट्रैक्टिव तो नहीं लगती हूँ, और रफ लड़कियाँ पसंद है वैसे। पर वो है सुंदर है, बहुत सुंदर है, क्यूट सी, हंसती अच्छी लगती है, उसकी आँखें भी पसंद है मुझे। उसको नहीं दूंगा मैं, क्योंकि खुद खत्म होने वाला है मेरा बहन का लोड़ा, और मेरे पास बहन तो कुछ भी नहीं है। मतलब मैंने उसको एक बार भी नहीं कहा कि मैं उसको पसंद करता हूँ, तो मैं उसको कह दूंगा। मुझे पता है जो शादी शुदी होएगी तो वो जी तो अच्छी बात है, वो चाहेगी तो हो जाएगी भाई, मेरे हाथ में कुछ नहीं है वैसे अभी, साफ कहूँ मैं, मेरे पे ना टाइम नहीं है किसी पे वो करने का, करियर देखना है मुझे, घर भी देखना है, आगे जाएगी बहन का जो होएगा, ठीक है। आगे अभी इसमें कवर कर रहा हूँ मैं थर्ड लो है जो द लो ऑफ कर्मा और कोज एंड इफेक्ट, ठीक है। मैं इसका नोट बना लूँ। लो ऑफ गिविंग में हम देते हैं लव, अप्रिशिएशन, कॉम्प्लीमेंट दे सकते हैं, और क्या दे सकते हैं मुझे नहीं समझ आया इसमें। भाई नोट्स वही होते हैं जो तुम पढ़ने के बाद बिना उसके नहीं सकते, उसी बात है, तो मैं जो घंटा को समझ नहीं आया। थर्ड है भैया लो ऑफ कर्म, बाद में मैं वॉइस एडिट कर दूंगा, क्योंकि मैं बीच में साइलेंट रहता थोड़ा, वो सब हटा दूंगा, साउंड एडिट करूँगा। बहन के लोग अच्छा नहीं यार, इतना परेशान करते हैं, वो कहाँ से आते हैं इतने, और तो एक दो ही होते हैं, सो जाता हूँ एक दो होते हैं, लाइट जल रहे बाहर से कहाँ से आ रहे, मैंने स्कूल बंद करवा दी थोड़ा, छुप के रहते हैं कि हमारा स्टोरी की करके आते हैं। एक बार मैं जो बहन तो सबको मार दूंगा, वो बड़ी कोड़े करते हैं, तो हम तो बीच में समझ जाएगा ये देखो बहन का जा रहा था कोई तो करने दो। चलो लॉ ऑफ कर्मों में हम पढ़ेंगे एवरी एक्शन जनरेट अ फोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी that return to us in like kind. What we sow is what we reap, and when we choose action that bring happiness and success to others, the fruit of our karma is happiness and success. Karma is the assertion of human freedom. Our thoughts, our words, and deeds are the thread of the net which we throw around ourselves. स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने कहा है। अब हम पढ़ते हैं इस लो के बारे में, ठीक है। हमारा रिकॉर्ड सामने रख लेता हूँ। हेलो माइक टेस्टिंग the third spiritual law of success is the law of karma. Karma is both action and the consequence of that. It is cause and effect simultaneously जो भी है एक साथ, because every action generate a force of energy that return to us in a like kind. There is nothing unfamiliar about the law of karma. Everyone has heard the expression what you sow is what you reap. जो तुम बोते हो वही तुम काटते हो। Obviously, if we want to create happiness in our life, we must learn to show the seed of happiness. Therefore, karma implies the action of consciousness choice making. You and I are essentially infinite choice maker. In every moment of our existence, we are in that field of the possibility where we have to an infinite infinite of choice. Some these choices are made consciously, while others are made unconsciously. हाँ बंद हो रही है बहन जो ऊपर से परेशान कर वर्ड को थोड़ा समझना थोड़ा अपनी तरफ से ठीक है मैं सही से नहीं बोल पा रहा बट द वे का थोड़ा दूसरा some of are made consciously while others are made unconsciously. But the best way to understand the maximize the use of karmic law is to become obviously aware of the choice we are make in every moment. Whether you like or not, everything that is happening at the moment is the result of the choice you have made in the past. Unfortunately, a lot of us are making choice unconsciously and therefore we don't think they are choices and yet they are. If I were to insult you, you would most likely make the choice of being offended. If I were to pay you a compliment, you would most likely make a choice of being pleased or flattered. But think about it, it is still a choice. I could offend you and I could insult you and you could make a choice to not being offended. I could pay you a compliment and you could make the choice not letting that flatter you either. In other words, most of us, even though we are infinite choice maker, have become bundles of conditional reflection that are constantly being triggered by people and circumstances into predictable outcome of behavior. These condition reflexes are like Pavlovian conditioning. Pavlov is famous for demonstrating that if you give a dog something to eat every time you ring a bell, soon the dog starts to salivate when you just ring the bell because it has associated one stimulus with the other stimulus. Most of us are as a result of conditioning have repetition and predictable response to the stimuli in our environment. Our reactions seem to be automatically triggered by people and circumstances, and we forget that these are still choices that we are making in every moment of existence. We are simply making this choice unconditionally. If you step back for a moment and witness the choices you are making as you make those choices, then in just this act of witnessing, you take the whole process from the unconsciousness realm into the consciousness realm. This procedure of conscious choice making and witnessing is very empowering. When you make any choice at all, you can ask yourself to think first of all, what are the consciousness of this choice that I am making? In your heart, you will immediately know what these are. Secondly, will this choice that I am making now bring happiness to me and to those around me? If the answer is yes, then go ahead with the choice. If the answer is no, if that choice brings distress either to you or to those around you, then don't make that choice. It is as simple as that. There is only one choice out of the infinity of choices available in every second that will create happiness for you as well as for those around, and you make that one choice. It will result in a form of behavior that is called spontaneous right action. Spontaneous right action is the right action that at the right moment it is the right response to every situation as that it happens. It is the action that nourish you and everyone else who is influenced by that action. There is a very interesting mechanism that the universe has to help you make spontaneously correct choice. The mechanism has to do with sensation in your body. Your body experiences two kind of sensation. One is sensation of comfort, the other is sensation of discomfort. At the moment you consciously make a choice, pay attention to your body and ask your body, if I make this choice, what happens? If your body sends a message of comfort, that is right choice. If your body sends a message of discomfort, then it is not the appropriate choice. For some people, the message of comfort and discomfort is in the area of solar plexus, but for most people it is in the area of heart. Consciously put your attention in your heart and your heart what to do. Ask your heart what to do. Then wait for the response, a physical response in the form of sensation. It may be the faintest level of feeling, but it is there in your body. Only the heart knows the correct answer. Most people think the heart mushy and sentimental, but it is not. The heart is intuitive, it is holistic, and it is contextual. It is nation. It does not have a win-lose orientation. It taps into the cosmic computer, the field of pure potentiality, pure knowledge, and infinite organizing power, and take everything into account. At times, it may not be even seem rational, but the heart has a computive ability that is far more accurate and far more precise than anything within the limit of rational thought. You can use the law of karma to create money and a fuel then काम हो रहा है ये होता है and the flow of all good things to anytime you want. But first, you must become consciously aware that your future is generating by the choice you making in the every moment of your life. If you do this on the regular basis, then you are making full of use of law of karma. The more you bring your choice into the level of your consciousness awareness, the more you will make those choices which are spontaneously correct, both of you and those around. What about past karma and how it is influencing you now? There are three things you can do about past karma. One is to pay your karmic debt. Most people choose to do that unconsciously, of course. This may be a choice you make also. Sometimes there is a lot of suffering involving the payment of those debts. But the law of karma say no debt in the universe ever goes unpaid. There is a perfect accounting system in this universe, and everything is constant to and fro exchange of energy. The second thing you can do is to transmute or transform your karma to a more desirable experience. This is a very interesting process in which you ask yourself, as you are paying your karmic debt, what can I learn from this experience? Why is this happening? And what is the message that the universe is giving? How can I make this experience useful to my fellow human being? By doing this, you look for the seed of opportunity and then tie that seed for opportunity with your dharma, with your purpose in your life, which we will talk about in the seven spiritual law of success. This allows you to transformate the karma to a new aggression. For example, if you break your leg while playing sport, you might ask, what can I learn from this experience? What is the message that universe is given to me? Perhaps the message that you need to slow down and be more careful or attentive to your body next time. And if your dharma is to teach others what you can know, then by asking how can I make this experience useful to my fellow human being, you may decide to share what you have learned by writing a book about playing football safely, or you may design a special shoe or leg sport that prevent the kind of injury you have experienced. This way, while playing your karmic debt, you will have also converted the adversity into the benefit that may bring you wealth and fulfillment. This is the transformation of your karma into a positive experience. You have not really gotten rid of your karma, but you are able to take a karmic episode and create a new and positive karma out of it. The third way to get rid of karma is to transcend it. The transcend karma is to become independent of it. The way you transcend karma is to keep experiencing the gap, the self, the spirit. It is like washing a dirty piece of cloth in a stream of water. Every time you wash it, you take away a few stains. You keep washing it again and again, and each time it gets a little clean. You wash or transcend the seed of your karma by going into the gap and out, coming out again. This, of course, is done through the practice of meditation. All action are karmic episode. Drinking a cup of coffee is a karmic episode. That action generates the memory, and the memory has ability or potential to generate desire, and desire generate action again. The potential operation and software of your soul is karma, memory and desire. Your soul is a consciousness that has the seed of karma, memory and desire. Become consciousness of this seed of manifestation. You become a conscious generator of reality. By help becoming a conscious choice maker, you begin to generate action that are evolutionary for you and those are around you, and that's all you need to do. As long as karma is evolutionary for both the self and everyone affected by the self, then the fruit of karma will be happiness and success. Apply the law of karma or cause of effect. It will put the law of karma into effect by making a commitment to these the following steps. First, today I will witness the choice I make in each moment, and in the mere witnessing of these choices I will bring those to my consciousness awareness. I will know that the best way to prepare for any moment in the future is to be fully conscious in the present. Everyone, whenever I made a choice, second point, whenever I made a choice,